Well, this week for Bushel Up, we're going to focus on zinc. I think zinc is, we slip into that micronutrient category, but most growers realize that zinc is very important in crop production. Every now and then I'll run into a producer who hasn't used zinc in their program or isn't aware of the importance of zinc. But for the most part, we do see a lot of zinc applications year in and year out. And one of the key things to remember about zinc is it is a double positive, so we don't need a lot of it, and it binds to the soil. So it's not leachable. It's strongly charged. It's going to attach to that soil. We don't have to worry about losing it, but that creates a couple problems we'll talk about here in a minute. But first off, why is it important? Like most nutrients, it works for hormones, chlorophyll production, protein production. Really, where we see zinc taken up in the plant is when we hit that rapid growth stage, when we're really producing cells. When we got a lot of photosynthesis going on from knee-high to tassel is when the biggest uptake of zinc occurs. And then there is some that still goes in at grain fill. We only need a small amount early, but it is very important. It's very important for early vigor. That's why we recommend a lot of it in pop-up fertilizers. It doesn't take a lot. Usually it's just a small amount that we recommend putting with that pop-up, but what we're trying to do is stimulate that rapid growth out of the ground. And we want that shoot initiation out of the ground, those roots to take off. And zinc is key to that early growth. And especially if we get in cold, wet, poor soils that aren't very conducive to that early growth, zinc will help us and really shine in those situations. Zinc is very sensitive to high pH. If you have high pH soils, you need to be looking at putting zinc on. Regardless of levels, zinc really ties up in high pH. We also tend to see zinc deficiencies where we have low organic matter, sandy soils, or if you have really high phosphorus levels, maybe a manure situation, super high phos levels, we can see some zinc deficiencies there, even though we may show enough on a soil test. So be aware of these situations. We always recommend a little supplemental zinc in these scenarios. It is okay to band. A lot of our zinc does get banded, either with starter or strip till, pop-ups. It's immobile, and the caution to that is if we band it, it's very fixed to that area. So I do like to see guys broadcast occasionally. That's a cheaper form of zinc usually, and gets that out there. It is important to understand your forms of zinc. The ones we put in starter can have some chelation to keep them from separating or plugging. That can tie up some of the availability. So, a lot of times we can fix some zinc deficiencies with foliar applications. The only downfalls of those is their cost goes up, and you have to watch your forms and use a form that's readily available. On the dry side, when we're broadcasting, we have zinc sulfate, which is fairly available. A cheaper form is zinc oxide, but that's going to take longer to break down. So just understand those forms. And finally, just for perspective, 250 bushel corn, we're going to remove about 1/3 or 3/10 of a pound of zinc per year. Going into the grain, getting hold of the elevator. We'll take another 0.4 of a pound for that stover. If you're not baling that, you'll get that credit back. But if you're removing stover, you're looking at taking 0.7 pounds. So we're not taking a lot off, but over time that can really accumulate. And we see that in guys that don't apply zinc. Their levels do drop over the course of 5-10 years. So we just recommend consistent zinc applications year in and year out, just a little bit, but make it part of your program.